Rogers from the project Ill Tribe. How you doing, Bert?
Yeah, really well, Mike. Yeah, everything's cool. How are you?
Very well, mate. But how is it out in beautiful Montenegro?
Yeah, sunny Montenegro. Well, it's sunny. It's really strange. I played tennis this morning at
Lovely.
8 o'clock in the morning outside, and then sat by the sea and had a cup of coffee. And
Sounds absolutely delightful.
Had to take my jumper off, actually. Like, to be
Wow,
honest
in
with you.
December as well.
I did, yeah.
Wow, a
It was
bit different from
hot.
Sheffield then.
Just a little bit.
So the project Ill Tribe, you are of course a founding member, and we've got an album dropping in the summer of 2021. Ill Tribe, I mean, how did it come about? What's it about?
The origins of Ill Tribe. Yeah, it's one of those organic projects. I see, well, we weren't sitting around thinking, oh, we need to make a band and what we're going to call a band and what kind of music we're going to do. I met the other founding member about 8 years ago, MC. We'll call him MC. And,
Nice guy.
He's been producing stuff, and he's living in my flat and, with his studio there. And every now and again I would pop in, and I think I did a little guest for him on early sort of hip hop
Certainly
track.
did. Yeah, it was a track called Under the Skin.
That's right. And I thought, oh, fair play. Mike's giving me a go on the old mic, and it's something a bit different. Different style of music to what I'm normally sort of involved in, vocally speaking. Anyway,
Yeah.
and and then one trip out up to the Bowl Hills, which is an amazing park in Sheffield. It's kind of on an edge overlooking the Peak District, and you can see 20, 25, 30 miles out there.
Gorgeous place.
Yeah, and I think you just dropped me a track before we'd gone to that place, and it was like, oh, listen to this, and it was kind of offbeaty, kind of African-y sounding guitar going on in it, and like a really atmospheric. Anyway, we were up on that Bowl Hills that time, doing what we were doing, and just came to me once, oh, I really fancy singing on that track. And so I think I just dropped it to you. Can we head back to yours and let me try something out on that track? And then the whole thing just sort of came together. We did the first track, The Hill, and thinking about the tribes that used to be living up in Winkerbank, which is another place I've sort of spent a lot of time in Sheffield, up on the hills there. The Bugantes tribe were up there years back, and hill tribes basically. And I think it just came to me while we were messing about with it, the hill and the hill tribes, and then we just dropped the H, like they do in Yorkshire.
It makes sense, yeah. I mean, Ill Tribe, it's very of its day now as well because of the local pandemic, isn't it? I mean, who could foresee that, really?
Yeah, like it's kind of weird. Yeah, the tribe of human beings at the moment, an ill tribe. So yeah, we're representing.
Why don't you tell us what the album's about then, Bert?
Okay, so
because the album's,
when I'm writing,
just stay before the album's actually called The Hill as well, isn't it? So the title track actually inspired most of the rest of the tracks, and it was, there's a bit of a journey in there. I mean, so let's tap into that.
All right, yeah. So there's a lot of themes running through this, and there's a lot of paradoxical themes. When I'm writing songs, I try not to be too obvious with the meanings. I mean, I'm not trying to be too clever either, but I'm not to be too obvious because, it's nice to sort of see a piece of art from one perspective, and then suddenly it changes perspective. Somebody points something out in that. Oh, look at that bird flying there. That's got significance, in a painting or now, in a few of the songs on this album, if you look a little bit further, especially the title track, Sunny Days. I'm going to explain a few of the meanings behind Sunny Days for anyone who's listening. It really sounds like a kind of cool song, sunny days, don't let them pass you by. It's kind of like really sort of almost positive, and about this guy traveling around the world and stuff like that.
sunny days. No, don't let it pass you by. Sunny days.
But if you look behind it, there's actually a little bit about privilege in there.
There's a bit of meaning, a bit of depth in there, isn't there?
Straight away. I mean, I'm very aware that I've been lucky in my life, lucky enough to have traveled many countries in this world. I've never gone hungry. You know, me and my family, we didn't have lots when I was young. You know, clothes were tatty, and you know, our car was a cheap car, and we didn't have the latest things. But I never went hungry. And you know, we have this kind of like almost privilege, us guys, you know, growing up in places like Britain and America, and you know, we take it for granted. We're going to get a holiday and things like this. Obviously, I mean, I don't want to make everybody feel terrible or anything, but that does not apply to the whole of the world, you know. So all these sunny days, and yeah, we're going to enjoy life to the full. Okay. And also to what cost? And then of course you got the Donald Trump statement halfway through, the climate change denial, and just in his own crazy style, you know, blaming it on the Chinese. One day that sample just seemed to like, oh, that's really fitting. Anyway, so yeah, we've got to look behind some of the sort of more obvious meanings, and there's all sorts on that album. There's comments on you know, how the world is run. There's comments on technology, how it's you know, dehumanizing us to some aspects. Great though it is, here we are, we're doing a Zoom interview, thousands of miles away. I'm not knocking it, you know, I'm not knocking the technology, but we have to be careful how it's used, and we also have to be careful how disconnected we could become.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Nature and reality, and reality is another song on the album, and it talks about quite strange. It talks about you know, how you're making your own reality. You can fake it. You can fake it if you want. You know, you can. Let's.
Well, there is that term, isn't there? Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. You know.
But obviously, this isn't the case.
Well, we like to think not.
But yeah, reality is and you got Sonic Cure as well.
Sonic Cure, obviously, directly kind of, you know, written, the lyric written around this time, the music written fair bit ago, and a really sort of beautiful piece, initiated by your good self and then added to by me. But then the lyric sort of thought about for a long time, and then suddenly sat here on my own worrying about everybody back home at the time, because there was no corona here when I penned that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and thinking, well, what use am I? I mean, I'd been, as you are aware, I'd taken a little bit of a break from music, just floundering somewhat, like a lot of people around the world. Yeah. And then I realized, you know, well, I'm a musician, I've got to get on with it, and that's the first thing I wrote when I sort of got my head down.
It's interesting point you make that, because I bet a lot of people can relate to this specifically. Is having a break is quite valuable to your progression, because you're able to reassess, refocus, re-acknowledge certain sorts of paths of progression to this point. And then,
well, it is amazing. Yeah, it is amazing how the brain works. So, you know, talking about practicing your instrument, and of course, generally speaking, it's best if you pick your guitar up every day, play for 10, 15 minutes, do it every day. But then actually don't pick it up for 2 weeks, and then come back sometimes, and it's just something clicks.
It's revitalizing.
I think also the brain takes a little bit of time to make sense of things after. So you go for big, intense, long periods of work, and you've added a lot of things to your memory and everything, and then, you know, there's some processes where everything's kind of compartmentalized, and, you know, And then the old muscle memory as well. You put your guitar down and you think, oh, I'm going to be slack, but it comes back very quickly.
It
So then
certainly
you can,
does. Yeah, it certainly does.
you need rest.
You don't lose it, but you do need rest. You do need time to have a break, and it's important you've said that because going out into another country like you have done, and then taking this valuable bit of time out to come back and really put some work in terms of this album. It's been refreshing because everything has come together, and you've been inspired again.
That's right. And yeah, like I say, arrest is great.
Arrested
Also,
Development.
arrested development. I mean, just one aspect of this period, and I guess I know it's not the same for everybody, and there's a lot of people really, really struggling with the finances, which
Hmm.
is awful, and I've seen it here. The tourist industry has really suffered here and everything.
Yeah.
For an artist, if they've got a little bit tucked away, actually a long period of sort of rest
Hmm.
from years of striving, because it's a struggle. I mean, to all the listeners out there, for every musician you see sort of jumping in and out of limos and running around on Wembley, there's probably 1,000 who or more per successful musician who struggle through life, ups and downs. Sometimes it's great, they're making something, sometimes not. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been
Okay.
interesting.
Good stuff. So, what's the plans then for this album?
Right. Well, I have several ideas up my sleeve. The first thing is, I think it needs to be on a vinyl.
Yeah,
It
I
needs to
agree.
be. It needs to be printed onto a vinyl.
It does.
Just
Yeah. Yeah.
great. You can make CDs as hard copies. Not a lot of people have CD players nowadays, anyway. So
No. I mean,
we can make a few.
tapes have been making a comeback, but not many people have tape decks either. So
Not many people have tape decks. I think that's a niche market. I think the vinyl market is considerably larger.
it
The
certainly
vinyl
is.
players, yeah, the vinyl comeback's been going on for a lot longer than 10 years now.
Yeah.
And
People are still collecting.
people are collecting. There's vinyl shops springing up all over the place. People
Hmm.
are bringing their second hands, swapping their second hands. You know, it's if you can find a few buyers now.
Hmm.
Obviously, family and friends
Yeah.
come first, and this is each piece of art that you do needs to be commemorated in some way. Now,
Okay.
after that, my feeling is that Ill Tribe should be playing at festivals.
Yeah.
It's definitely festival music, not the last band on. We're talking sunset kind of music. It's uplifting. It's a bit slower in places. We've got some more upbeat tunes for near the end of the set. Get everybody raving and set them up. So looking to use this album
Hmm.
to send out to festivals across Europe. I'm not going to let Brexit stop me from doing that.
No. Why
I'm
should
going
you?
to apply. No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. If I have to pay extra stamp duty on this and that, or stamp duty, not stamp duty,
Yeah.
customs duty to get my instruments in, so be it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not ideal, but I'm going to try for that anyway. And of course, in Britain, Eastern Europe as well.
Yeah. I mean,
The other. Go on. Sorry, Mike.
there's tons out there, isn't there, that could potentially fit the bill in terms of the sound and the feel of the album, and in terms of the festival itself, and the artists
That's
they
right.
want to put on, because
That's
you
right.
know it's not got any boundaries, this album.